In the next few days, Ripple will officially say that they will be buying back over $1 billion worth of XRP. This means that all $1.5 trillion will be added to the XRP ledger at the same time. The amount of XRP being bought back, which is $1 billion, is expected to raise its price to over $600. This has been proven, and the dates have been made public at the end of October. Guys, this is crazy. And if you have even 10 XRP, you should watch this movie all the way through because it's important and true. The information from all of the sources is the same. Ripple Labs is going to buy back more than 1 billion XRP, which will cause the price to skyrocket to over $600. At the same time, another 1.5 trillion XRP will be added to the XRPL. Oh, wait, Wells Fargo confirmed all of this. This is what the banks, organizations, elites, BlackRock, JP Morgan, and Wells Fargo have all said. For example, Wells Fargo said that the XRP token could reach $500 in just 2 to 7 months. Wells Fargo put $100 to $500 in the next 2 to 7 months. Take a look at this, stopper. Is that a surprise? It's not, though. Because these people already know how much XRP costs because they need it. In fact, Brad Garnigas has been teasing about this for a while now. He maintained that they had just confirmed Ripple, which is a huge call to use XRP in very large payment areas like trade finance, real estate, and insurance. XRP's co-founder, Arthur Breachu, also told us that the cryptocurrency was made for billions of people and that $10,000 was the price goal it was made for. And now look at XRP, it's finally recovering from a huge drop, and it's now consolidating, getting ready for the biggest rise in its history. Institutions around the world are now starting to accept it. For example, JP Morgan Chase Bank has stated that they will start taking XRP as payment. This is a huge change. Not only that, but BlackRock also revealed a huge partnership with Ripple that will tokenize assets and put them on the XRP ledger. The chief technology officer of Ripple even said that the new global financial system will need a huge amount of XRP and that over $650 trillion will flow into the XRP ledger by real token, which is based on the XRPL. One very important thing to keep in mind is that Trump just changed the Federal Reserve. Also, in case you haven't noticed, the gold and silver markets have been going through the roof. The price of gold and silver is going to go up by 3 to 4 times, which is like 400%. This is something that has never happened before in history. But now hold on, this is happening because the global reset is about to happen, which will wipe out the debt and then use the gold and silver gains that the US government is selling to people right now. With the money they made, they bought a lot of Bitcoin, XRP, and safe coins. But pay close attention to the letter XRP. This big change in wealth will be the start of tokenization on the XRP system. It will also be the first time in history that the Federal Reserve trades and buys XRP. Trump even started a strategic XRP wallet with the U.S. Treasury not long ago. In addition, it has already worked with the Bank of America and World Liberify, a cryptocurrency company run by Donald Trump's son. This makes me think of this video from 2 weeks ago, in which Eric Trump says that he knows Brad Garlinghouse, the CEO of Ripple, and talks about XRP by name. He says, "Yes, I know XRP very well," and he adds that they've been talking and dealing with the XRP ledger a lot for payments and the Federal Reserve's payment sector. You need to know what size we're talking about. How trillions of dollars are about to flood in over the long term and how the huge $1.5 trillion rush may start to show up in the XRP ledger in the next few days. All of these things happening at the same time will lead to the $600 price prediction for XRP, which has been pretty much confirmed by several banking institutions, including Wells Fargo. Again, I know it sounds crazy, but please bear with me for a moment. Now let's go back to the XRP ledger and the huge number that is really making it global, the over $650 trillion in new capital that is about to enter the XRP. Which number is it? This is likely the most important number you need to know about XRP, as it's this number that will cause its price to reach thousands. That's right, the real market price of XRP is somewhere between $5 and $11,000. This is what we're really looking at. It sounds crazy, but this is what will happen if this much XRP moves into the ledger. That price will go up. Let's talk about it. The $650 trillion being talked about actually come from the real token. The real token is backed by a real institution. There are real tokens on the XRP ledger that are backed by a real institution called RealFi. RealFi is both a platform for real estate and a way to pay for things. They do lots of cool things. The real token, which is based on XRP, is being used by a huge company that deals with real estate. They have officially announced that they will start to open real estate using this token. That's it. This is the real token, a cryptocurrency that's about to take off with a very low supply of just 22 million units. That's it. That's the lowest supply of any cryptocurrency ever. Really? In this case, we're looking at the real-world asset token, which is a very big deal. This token only came out 2 or 3 months ago, but it's already up hundreds of thousands of percentages. It was worth 1/100th of a penny, and now it's worth about 3 cents. It's crazy, but while most tokens are down, the real token is one of the few that is still in the green. Again, these guys aren't listed on a single centralized exchange, and there isn't a big marketing effort. But the price of real token keeps going through the roof because of the innovation and the huge amount of money that RealFi is adding to the XRP ledger. You need to understand that real token will handle all the money. It's going to happen just like that. The $650 trillion will go through a real token and into the XRP ledger. This will cause supply shock for both the real token and the XRPL. In fact, many XRP analysts and experts in the field have said that if just 1% of the huge amount of money, $652 trillion, were to enter the real token or the XRP ledger, the real token would literally skyrocket from 2 cents to over almost $65,000 or $64,500. We're talking about a huge, huge, huge supply shock in history. This is what will happen with a real coin that is on the XRP ledger. And even though XRP will go through a supply shock, like when it reaches $5,000 to $6,000, the real token will go above and beyond those numbers because it has a much lower supply than XRP. So it's clear that when you look at real token, you think, this is very bullish. You know, these things and these guys have grown a lot in the last few months. Once more, these guys are really growing really quickly. They have more than 3,440, but when we looked at them yesterday, they were only at 3,400. This is all with almost no marketing, and it's not mentioned anywhere. You can see how much they're growing. This is why I'm so excited about the real ticket and why I have a nice bag full of them. I really believe this will have one of the biggest breaks in the history of the XRP ledger. In the short and long run, I think people are going to become millionaires. Utility-based goods are the ones that are solving a problem in the real world that is worth trillions of dollars. And that is exactly what this is. It's a trillion-dollar problem that needs to be solved in the real world. It's real things from the real world. Besides all of that, it's backed by the RealFi company, which is a very big one. Plus, it's built on the XRP system, which is a huge plus. It's even crazier when guys with 200,000 to 400,000 followers say they think the real token could go for thousands of dollars with just 1% of the huge market. Which, again, is true when you look at the supply, the demand, the future of this project, and how it's being built. Of course, this is actually very solid. It's one of the most optimistic projects I've seen. When I first saw them, I thought, this is Bitcoin sitting at $1, and then Bitcoin started to 120